Welcome to the Richard Lloyd USA YouTube channel. I'm Richard Lloyd. Today I'm going to be making a video on Hiren'S Boot CD PE. And what this is a suite of utilities that run in a 64-bit native Windows environment off a USB thumb drive. Now I put it on as small as a 4 gig thumb drive, a USB 2 thumb drive, and it worked fine. It's really slow, but it worked. So you can go as low as a 4 gig thumb drive. I don't recommend that, but it will work on a 4 gig thumb drive, USB 2. I'm going to be using a 32 gig USB 3 thumb drive, which will make it much faster. I'll put links to all the hardware and stuff in the video description below for you. And I recommend that you get one with a well, if you can, get one with a light, an indicator light that shows you whether it's working or not. I like that feature a lot because it tells me, if it's safe to pull the drive out or if the drive is working. When I'm booting up with it, it also indicates to me that it's actually doing something. So I know that whether there's anything on the screen or not, if the light is blinking, the drive's doing something, which makes me, more patient about what's going on. Okay, Hiren'S Boot CD PE. PE means pre-installation Windows environment. So they're using something that Microsoft released a while back. I think it was 2012, which is a pre-installation environment. It's totally, usable. There's no problems at all in using it. And what looks like this, what you see on the screen here, almost exactly like Windows, except it's basically a very pared down version of Windows 10. But it's still Windows 10 and it's still 64-bit. So all the tools run inside that. Really handy. I'll show you all the tools here. Actually, the first thing we're going to need to do for you is to find the web page where all this information is. So all you got to do is do a Google search for Hiren'S Boot CD. And you can do that in Google. And even though I misspelled it, here it is, Hiren'S Boot CD. You can see it here. So just click on Hiren'S Boot CD. And when you click on it, you'll get to this page, Boot CD PE. Now there's another version of Hiren'S as well, an older DOS sort of based version. And I may do a video on that later, but right now this is the most current version with the most tools. Well, not the most tools, but with the most current tools. I'm going to go here to the USB booting tab. And you see here, that it shows you how to create this USB thumb drive, which I'm showing you here on the video. But the other cool thing, if you go here to download, is it shows you all the tools that are on this disk. And as you can see here, we've got data recovery, defrag tools, all sorts of other tools over here, defrag, key finders, passwords, diagnostics for hard drives, disk explorer, system tools, imaging tools, networking tools, partition tools, you name it. I mean, it's just about, it's a full suite of computer utilities. They're all free and they're all fine to use, no problem at all. So you've gone to the Hiren'S Boot CD web page. You've clicked on download, which is the tab at the top here. We ended up on this page. And you see all the tools. Now, if you want to, just to back up, if you want to find out how, if you have a 64-bit processor or not, just right-click your Windows icon and go to, I guess you can go to, let's do it a different way. Let's go to your search box and go to Control Panel. All right, so go to Control Panel, open that up. Go to System and Security, and then under System, okay, so we're going to go here. And you'll see here, and now I've cropped the window down because I don't want to show my serial numbers on the internet, but regardless, you can see I have Windows 10 Pro, and you can see that I have a Xeon CPU X5680. Again, that doesn't really matter. What matters down here is system type. 64-bit operating system with a 64-bit processor. Really cool. Basically all you need to know, and if yours doesn't show this, if it shows 32-bit, then you probably have an older legacy machine with a 32-bit processor. I'm thinking a netbook, but regardless, don't know what you have, but you need to have a 64-bit processor for this to work. So there's how you find out. So let's go back here. We've gone to the Hiren'S Boot CD front page, click on the download, and really kind of cryptic on where the download is. You see all this stuff and it's like, whoa, that's a lot of information. But if you scroll down to the bottom, and like I said, they're not, they should make it, I think, a little more obvious. But regardless, that's why I'm making the video, so it's easy for you. Click on here on HBCD_PE_X64ISO. So click on that, and it'll want to download. Now it's 1.3 gigs, so I've already downloaded it to spare us the time, so I'm going to hit OK here. It's I'm going to take where I put mine is on the desktop, just to make it easy for all of us. So desktop, Hiren'S, in a folder called Hiren'S USB. You can see that it's already there. So in order to save us the time, I'm just going to hit cancel here. But you would hit save, and wherever folder you put it in, and it will download. Like I said, it's 1.3 gigs, so it would take a while to download. Now, we've got that downloaded. Once you've got that downloaded, click on USB booting. And then on this page, there's one more download to do, and that is the ISO to USB.exe. So click on that, save the file, and wherever you wish to save it. I'm going to save mine again on the same place, the desktop, Hiren'S USB. There we go. And you can see that I already have it, but it's a very small file, so I'll just replace it. There we go. It's 1.5 megabytes, so it's pretty well instant to download. So we've got those two files. Go to the desktop or wherever you put these files. Then we're going to insert the thumb drive we're going to use. And there we go. And you can see that I've already formatted this drive. I already put these files on here, but we're going to do it again. So double click on ISO to USB. That's the file that creates the USB thumb drives. Then click yes to permission to do it. And you can see the three different parameters here. Now, this automatically knows where the ISO is because it's in the same directory as the program that's running. So it says, oh, well, I'll just use this one that's here. So if you put them both in the same directory and it's the only ISO there, it's probably pretty clear to the program to do it. If it's somewhere else so you can't find it, just hit the little key next to it, highlight the file, the ISO file, which is the HBCD.PE, and then hit open. As you can see here, open an ISO. And then at this point, it will format the selected USB thumb drive. Make sure you're formatting the right thing. In my case, it is. It's the F drive. You can see it here. And it's 32 gigs. Right click it and you see the properties on it, and you'll see that it's a FAT 32 gig drive. And just hit OK here, and then go back to our little prompt and hit process. Again, be sure, very sure that you're formatting the right drive, okay? This is the most dangerous thing about this. Okay, click yes, and it will begin creating the boot USB thumb drive. Now, first thing it does is format it, then extracts the ISO to the thumb drive. Now, this is a very, very powerful tool. It can do all sorts of things, wonderful things to fix your computer, but it also has the other side. If you don't use it right, you can wipe out data, you can erase hard drives, and I don't think you can really damage anything, but you will create data corruption if you don't know what you're doing. So be sure you know what you're doing. Make sure that when you're partitioning drives or formatting drives that you know exactly which drive you're formatting, okay? Safety, safety, safety. If you don't know, check. And even if you think you know, double check. Make sure that you're doing it on the right drive. I've erased whole drives just by nonchalantly not paying attention and just clicking go, 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 go. Okay, the thumb drive is created at this point, and what I'm going to do next is reboot the machine into the into the BIOS window, into the primary window. When you reboot the machine, you always get a splash screen. Mine says Dell, and on that screen you have the option to choose what device to boot from. Yours may be different from mine. On mine, I choose F12, and it gives me the option to choose which drive to boot off. Yours might be Escape, it might be F2, F9, F11, who knows? Your PCs are different, and if you don't know which key to use to boot to that environment or to the selection menu, usually it's listed right on the screen when you first boot. Anyway, it says to change, click this key. But if it's not, check your manufacturer's website on your drive to see whether, which key or which key combination gets you into the menu that shows you how to choose which USB thumb drive or which drive to boot from. And I'll show you that next, and then we'll boot into the environment and you can see what that looks like, and I'll give you a quick look at all the tools that are available there. So here we are at the boot screen, paused at the boot screen, and you can see my options at the bottom, F2 for setup, F12 for boot options. Again, as I stated, it might be different for you. And if you want to know how to pause the screen, there's a pause key on your keyboard. Hit the pause key, and you might have to hit it several times because it takes a bit for the keyboard to be noticed by the BIOS sometimes. But anyways, I'm paused here, and you can see this progress bar on the screen, how far it went before it paused. So here we're going to hit F12, and you're going to have to hit it twice because you have to unpause the machine. And whatever your key is, just hit it twice and you should get there. And you got the boot selection menu. I'm choosing USB, the PNY USB 3.0 FD. I don't know, floppy drive or disk is what they call it, but it is a USB device. So we're going there. And then we're going to go through the boot process here. I may cut this out and actually just go straight to the desktop after this boots. All right, I cut a portion of the boot process out here. You can see the eternal circle going around here at the bottom. So we should have the desktop pretty soon. Good reasons, once again, why you want to use a fast USB thumb drive, especially on this image because it's fairly large, 1.3 gigs. And you can see the desktop coming up here. Several little programs are going to boot up, and just let them do their work. And when they're done doing their work, then we can start. I'll start showing you what you can do with this and what's included with this distribution, which is really, really cool. We'll wait for this. And next thing, well, if you want, I'm going to go quickly here. If you want to change the resolution of your screen, go down to this little screen in the bottom right-hand corner, and you'll get different resolutions you can choose. I'm not changing this one because this is perfectly fine for demonstration purposes, but you can change it here, as well as eject your USB devices, your CD-ROM if you have one, and the temp, which is the temporary files. So you can, again, and eject and shut down, whatever. So you have a whole bunch of options over here in the bottom corner. You've also had the same old hardware devices here. So say I plugged in let's see what happens if I plug my 4 giga in. It shows up. And it does. And you can see that I had the HBCD on there. So you can actually click on these and open the devices again. Just makes it easy. The other thing that's kind of important is networking. Now I've got an Ethernet LAN cable, a hardwired cable from my LAN card on this motherboard to my router, but that may not be practical for you, and because your router may be too far away from your computer, or you might be using Wi-Fi. So first thing I'm going to show you is how to configure Wi-Fi for this thing. Now, why do you want to configure Wi-Fi? Because a lot of these utilities have updates available to them, and you can do the updates if you're connected to the network. So again, if you're connected to a hardwired connection like I am, you don't have to do anything on networking. It'll just, connect to the router and get an IP address and go. But here, if you're not, and you don't have that option, just right-click this icon, the network icon on the bottom right, and go to Show Main GUI or GUI, and you'll see your network configuration. First off, up here you'll get the ability to choose between Wi-Fi and the hardwired. But here I'm just going to leave that alone right here. But this is what you get the options to do. So if I go here, let's see if it finds the other card. There we go. I had to refresh it by hitting this button, and you can see that I have a Realtek PCI GBE family controller. That's the LAN card, or the local area network card. And then we have the wireless. So make sure you're on your wireless, and then go to Wi-Fi. Here, just find I'll go with this one. Find your SSID or your router's Wi-Fi identification. I've got two. I've got 2.4G and I have 5G. So up to you which one you choose. I'm going to choose this one. Just double click on it, put in your password, whatever that is, and like so, and just hit OK. And if you want to show the network key, just click on this window. Of course, I'm not going to do that, but here we go. We just hit OK. And you can see that it's highlighted and that it's connected now. It even says 780 megabits per second, so pretty good connection. So right now I'm on Wi-Fi and the network, but again, you don't need to do that. You've got several other tabs here to go play with. Again, very robust amount of tools here, so we're not going to go through that. I just wanted to show you how to connect through Wi-Fi. Now I'm connected through Wi-Fi as well as network, and you can see that I've got a green here and an Ethernet connection as well. So both network connections are done. Desktop, standard stuff, you know. It looks by all means pretty well the same as Windows 10. And you can see the usual listings of things. And it is a Windows environment. This is Microsoft. It's not Linux pretending to be a Microsoft, which I've seen a few times. So click on your Windows icon down here. Go to All Programs. I mean, it has the usual, you know, stuff. And you can see all the different things here. But when you go to All Programs, you'll get everything in here. So you've got accessories, the usual stuff that comes with Windows. BCD, MBR tools. These are boot code and master boot record tools. You know what you're doing with those. There they are. Generally for playing and configuring master boot records. Okay, computer management. This is your standard stuff that you would get with a regular Windows computer. I don't know. Let's go to computer management. And then you've got the, you know, your standards here. Disk management. This will show you your disks, right? So again, you know, nothing new or different there. Go back to All Programs again. This is where everything trees out from. So we've got computer management, gone through that. Driver management, same. This is where you start getting into the tools that come with this. So, you know, again, more tools to play with. I can't go through all of them. This video would be 12 hours long if I went through them. But there's your driver management utilities. Hard disk tools. We've got data recovery, which is really cool. Again, check disk and Recuva, and some of them are basically, all these utilities are there to try and recover data if you've lost it, if you've deleted something. And just because you've deleted something doesn't mean that you've destroyed the data on it. Generally, when you delete something, especially if you do a quick format, even if you just delete the file, it's still there on that drive. It can be recovered, and these tools will you know, attempt to recover that data. So you know, if you didn't destroy the data, it's recoverable. So back to next tool, defrag. This is Defragler. I'll open it up. And it's a defrag tool. One word of caution on any defragger. Do not use defraggers on solid state devices like USB thumb drives or flash cards, SD or micro SD flash cards, or memory cards, or SSD hard drives. Why? Because they are hard. They're a hard device. They don't have a disk spinning in them. And if you use a defragger on one of those, you will be putting an excess amount of wear on them. Yes, solid state devices like SD cards and USB thumb drives and SSD drives do wear out. They have a certain amount of read and writes to each memory slot. So they, you know, if you use a defragger, you're going to be reading and writing to every, you know, byte on that drive over and over and over again, and putting an excessive amount of wear on it. So do not defrag solid state devices. This is just for spinning hard drives, okay? So if you don't know what it is, just leave it alone, right? But if you know that it's you know, a physical hard drive with a disk in it that's spinning, then defragger is perfectly fine to use on that. It will optimize your drive to be more efficient and run faster, and in fact probably make it last longer because it won't work as hard. So this is what defraggers are. I'm going to see what it does if I try and do the SSD on my computer here. So It's analyzing it, fine. Analyzing is not the same as defragging. All right, this health is good. It tells you that, that's cool. And here we just go optimize. Okay, cool, won't let me do it anyways. Let's try a normal drive. Let's see, what do I got? 1.3 gigs. There we go. And I should have a 3 terabyte in here somewhere. There we go. Actually, there's nothing on it. So let's go with this drive. This is a disk drive. So analyze it and defrag it. And there, it's defragging it. So it wouldn't even let me do the SSD. So that's cool. You know, whether the error was intentional or not, doesn't matter. This is defragging a normal disk drive, and it'll organize all this data in a way that will make the drive much more efficient. And for all you people who are OCD, I have a friend who's OCD. He just defrags all the time. He just loves watching this program work because he sees the organization that it's doing. It's organizing the drive. But regardless, here we're just going to hit stop. I don't need to defrag that drive right now. Close it out, and you can see what that is. So let's go back to that. Hard disk tools. We went to defrag. Diagnostics. G-Smart control interface. If you saw my video on Gparted, it has this tool in it as well. So basically, it's a smart detection tool. So let's go to my 3 terabyte here. I believe this is it. Yes. And double click on it, and it will tell you all the smart information about this drive. Basically, the health monitoring software is called Smart. So you can go through this, you can do the self-tests, you can see what's going on with it. Just showing it to you here quickly. So close this out. This too, back to all programs again. And we're on hard disk tools, so diagnostics, HDD scan, HD tune, more tools. Lifeguard Diagnostics from Western Digital, awesome tool as well. Disk Explorers, right? Kind of a more like a file. Let's open it up. It's a file manager, really. See, it shows you the files on the drive. So let's go back. Again, I can't go through every single one of these and show you how to use every single one. Some of them I don't even know how to use, like those, or what their purpose is. But regardless, there it is. So diagnostics, Disk Explorer, imaging. Well, imaging is to back up data. So you can back up hard drives. You can back up, you know, any volume inside your machine. These are pretty good. And Acronis is usually my favorite, but up to you what you use. Let's go to Partition tools. And these are cool. Again, like Gparted on my other video. Let's open one of them up. IOMI, very robust program. And again, we'll let you format it any way you want. I'm not going to show you how to use it here. It's pretty self-explanatory. You know, it's a partition program. Let's go back to another one. That's the second one that was there. So it gives you even more than one option. So partition tools, partition extender. And this one will allow you to do more or less. Okay, so here, you know, it says we've detected a new version, right? So if you want to, you could go to the website and download it, but I'm not going to do that here. This is perfectly fine. And you can see it's very similar to the other one, has the same kind of options. Let's close that out. Again, why it's cool to be networked, because you can update these programs to their latest ones. Hard disk tools again. I went for partition tools, security. This is low-level format tool. Now, this tool will wipe out all the data on your drive, and you won't be able to get it back. It writes zeros and erases every byte on your drive. So if you want to basically clean a drive clear, this does a pretty good job of it. So that's as far as I'm going to go with this, because I don't want to continue. I don't want to wipe any of my data out. So again, remember, there's power in these tools. So maybe practice on a machine that you don't care about. All right, so let's see, other tools. Okay, we were in hard disk tools, and that was security. And the reason that's security, because it wipes out your data. network. So say you're going to give somebody a drive, you want to make sure they never get any data off that drive that was on it before, use that tool. I'm going to show you Acrylic Wi-Fi Home. This is a really cool little program. And you know, basically, and again, this one tells you the same thing. It says, hey, check for updates. There's a newer version. Okay, so let's download the new version. So just click on download here. And it says use Internet Explorer, which is Firefox. Don't ask me why. Hit OK. Because we're networked, it's going to save the file here. So we want to save it. And just wherever it's going to be on this PC on downloads. And it's a very small file, 6.3 megabytes. Click on it. It says, you know, Acrylic Wi-Fi Home is that it's running. So because I'm running the program, it's saying, okay, shut down the program and then I'll install it. Okay. I accept and go with the defaults. Now, when you install, and it's 4.4 now, when you install and update this program, it's only updated for this session. When you reboot this computer and reboot off this USB thumb drive, this will be back to the old version. It doesn't have any permanent storage capability. So, you know, you're going to have to update it every time if you wish. Okay, so this program is really cool. Shows you your Wi-Fi environment. I like it a lot. Let's go up here to the menu. Now, this is kind of neat what it's showing you here. It's useful, but if you go to the advanced mode, it gets really cool. Let's go here. So here it shows you, you know, signal strength, network quality. Now I'm going to pick something. Let's pick my current connection. All right, and it shows you signal quality is pretty good. Network security is excellent. Transmission speed is excellent. You know, 802.11 standards. I don't know how they manage or equal that, but they say it's 5 out of 10. Now, it gets even cooler if you go here. This is a 2.4 gig networks. Now, I'm not connected to a 2.4 gig network, but this thing's scanning that area. And you can see here everything, all the networks, all these bars across the bottom are clients on this spectrum, okay? Now, in my 2.4, it would be this one here. So when you highlight your card, it shows you where you're at. And then you can change your channels accordingly. I'll make a video on optimizing Wi-Fi, but just wanted to show you this quickly. Let's go to 5 gigahertz, and you can see in 5 gigahertz why you want to use 5 gigahertz, because its transmission range is not as large as the other one. So I'm getting, you know, neighbors from 400 feet in radius to me on the other channel, but on 5 gigahertz, I'm only getting myself. Why? Because it doesn't broadcast as far, and it broadcasts faster, as you can see here. I'm at 1300, whereas if I were on the 2.5, it'd be at 450 megabits per second. So much quicker, right? So yeah, and it helps you optimize. Again, I'm going to make a video on how to use this tool to optimize your Wi-Fi, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for this tool. So I wanted to show you how many cool things there is in this. So let's keep going. So we were on network, Chrome. Pen network is just this interface down here. I already showed you that. Remote control, well, those are remote control apps that allow you to remote other machines. Not going to get into that because I don't have a machine that remote. Other tools like Zip File Manager, Diff Pro. These are programming tools, tools that show differences in programs, and there's all sorts of them here. So again, I'm not going to go through that. Graphics, this is a picture viewer. Again, not going to use it, but that's what it is. Let's go back. And Office, well, I don't know why you'd be using it, but you have Office applications here, Free Office, Plan Maker, Presentations, Text Maker, and Sumatra PDF. Removable drives, well, you can burn a CD using this if you're into burning CDs. So this has got a CD-ROM burner. I'm not sure how well it works because I don't have a CD-ROM burner, but you know, if you are using that technology, you can use this program for it. Keep going. Rufus, that's for, okay, so again, checking for new versions. Rufus is like the program that created this USB thumb drive. It'll allow you to create USB thumb drives from ISO files, and then you can boot them up on your computer. So no more explanation needed there. Let's keep going. So those are the removables. We're going to security. Now this is really important if you've got a virus issue. Clearing viruses from a computer that is running the virus is very, very difficult. So using this tool, you'll be booting into a clean environment on your computer that's infected by a virus, and then you can easily remove it. When the virus is running in the environment and you're trying to use an antivirus program in that same environment, like say you're running Windows 10, you're trying to load an antivirus program that has, on that computer, when it has a virus in it, it probably won't let you do it. But when you reboot, go into this clean environment, then you can access that drive and then delete it really nicely. So we'll just go here with antivirus, and you've got a couple here. You have an ESET online scanner. This is a virus checker. Let's go click on that. Accept the user agreement. Okay, so you can choose what you want here. I'm just gonna, and there's advanced settings. Again, up to you. I'm just going to hit scan here, and we're going to quickly do it. Now, this is another reason you want to be networked, because downloading virus signatures, well, it can only do that if you're connected to the internet through your network. So, again, it's working. I think I'm just not going to go through this whole thing. It's take too much time. Yes, I want to close it. But that's your virus scanner. Another good program down here under security is antivirus, Malwarebytes. It's anti-malware. You have viruses and you have malware. They're not the same, but again, this will allow you to scan your machine for that. And you can upgrade now or fix it or do whatever you wish. And here you can say update on the database version. Probably a good idea to update both of those programs before running them, because you want the latest definitions on this stuff, because there's a new virus and new malware about every hour of the day, right? So keep them updated. It's a cat and mouse kind of game. Again, we're not going to go through the update. I'm going to just minimize that. All programs. Go back to security again. Key finders. Well, this will find your product key or show your keys for Windows. Of course, I'm not going to open those up here, but useful if you want to find out what those are. Passwords, same thing. Password recovery, again, self-explanatory. I'm not opening those up here because you don't need to see my passwords or my keys. Okay, so here we have a bunch of system tools, attribute changer, CC cleaner, very good application. Change your keyboard layout, dependency walker, registry backup, red shot, and PowerShell modules. But here is one that is kind of hidden, Sys Internal Suite. So we'll click on that. And here you can see a whole bunch of programs that you can click on. Let's see, let's try one. Let's go with AutoRun. Agree to the license agreement. And this shows you everything that's auto running in your computer. Again, more things to delve through and play with. So there's plenty of tools and things to, and auto run programs, just so you know, are things that when you turn on your computer, they slow down your boot up process because they're loading like McAfee and let's say ESET or some other virus checker or something silly like, I don't know, like PDF reader and so on and so forth. If you can turn those off using that program and then not have it slow down your computer. Again, this is a utility, sort of like a Swiss Army knife utility program for Windows. Works really well and really handy. Certainly very, very useful if you have a virus and if you are looking at your hard drives in any way whatsoever. Okay, so let's go to, so hardware info, some pretty standard programs, CPU-Z, GPU-Z, and HW. Again, so I'll open one of these up. And this just tells you, okay, you can update it, I'm not going to. And it tells you everything about your processor, you can bench your processor, graphics, you name it, your main board, basically your hardware. And pretty cool, pretty nice to know what's going on with that. And close that out. Let's do another one. under again, GPU would be your graphics processor, same kind of program. Hardware info is both of them put together. I haven't opened up, okay, so Specky, I didn't open it, but it gives you, again, a summary of what's going on, your operating system, CPU, RAM, so on and so forth. Just more hardware information. Let's keep going down here. And, okay, so we've gone through that. Tech Bench, ISO downloader, Win10 setup. Again, not going to go through it, too much to go through. Windows Recovery is a program made to recover your Windows if there's something wrong with it. Again, I'm not going through that because my Windows is working just fine. I don't need to recover it. So only use these tools if you need to use the tools, or if you're playing with something to learn how to use the tool and what it does, right? Other than that, leave it alone because they're really powerful. And if you do something wrong, you can put yourself into a bigger mess than you were before you started. So again, as my father used to say to me all the time, if it's not broken, don't fix it, Richard. So yeah, good advice. So again, you can see the different options that this has. So close that off. And I think that's basically it. There's really not much else in here. I mean, you can go to control panel and all these other things. Let's try the control panel. Standard stuff, you know, shows you what normally is in control panel. But again, you've got a 64-bit Windows operating environment, which is really cool to use utilities to fix Windows. Now, Linux is just as well, or just as good at doing the same thing, but you know, this is native. So let's close this off. So that's it for Hiren'S Boot CD. Just wanted to go through it with you, how to create it, what it does, why you may want it. Basically another tool in your tool bag for fixing a computer. So I may do the DOS version of Hiren'S Boot CD. It's older, but still valid and still relevant, and it runs in a DOS Linux kind of environment. So that may be my next video. So I'll put links for all the hardware that I used in this video in the video description below. Please use those links as they support my efforts here on YouTube. They're affiliate links, so what that means is every time that you click on them at no cost to you, I get a little commission on those sales. Again, it would cost the same if you went straight to Amazon or eBay to buy those items regardless, so you don't even notice it. It doesn't add anything to the price, and it helps me out. So do that for me. If you like this video and it helped you out in some way, click on the thumb button or the like button in the bottom right and give me a big thumbs up. I appreciate that. Helps me on the YouTube algorithm. As well, you know, like and share it with other people. As well, the comments section below. Leave your comments and questions or any suggestions that you may have down there. I've used many of the suggestions in the comment sections for new videos that people wanted to see, and yeah, you know, appreciate those. You know, sometimes it's like, what video do I do next? And somebody asks me, can you do a video on this? It's like, yeah, I can do a video on that, and I've done it quite a few times, so I appreciate those as well. Again, you know, in the end of this video, you'll see a picture of me. That picture is a subscription link. If you click on that, as part of the subscription process, you'll see a bell icon. Click on the bell icon and you'll be notified every time I put up a new video, and then you can watch it at your own leisure. Also in the bottom corner of the screen, usually there's a subscription link all the way through the video, and you can click that as well. Same process again, bell icon to be notified to see the videos. Okay. I want to thank you once again for watching. I want you to stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy.